Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you Donkey Pinocchio at skill level 4, 5, and 6. Now, I do have another video that covers the lower skill level, and in that video, I do go over some of his base stats and also some of the strategies that I use for the lower skill level. That video is more detailed than the one I'm going to do here. The focus of this particular video is I'm going to go over skill level 4, 5, and 6, and also show you what strategies that I use. It might slightly be a little bit different compared to the lower skill level, so if you're looking for the lower skill level, definitely check that video out. I'm going to link that video in the description below and also link it to the top right hand corner so you guys can access that whenever you want. You could also check it out at the end of this video as well. But for this video, I do want to focus on skill level 4, 5, and 6. And the strategy is slightly different between skill level 4, 5, and 6 versus the lower skill level, and that's really because that you're going to activate more abilities per game, and you're also going to have more time during each ability. But before I get into the strategy, if you would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, where I review Tsums and do monthly leaks, and sometimes I go on live as well, then definitely consider subscribing to this channel. It'll really help me out a lot. Okay, so some of the things I do differently between these higher skill level than the lower ones is I actually just go for the first available Tsums or the chains that I see. And I also try to keep it somewhat small. I notice that if I do smaller chains but quicker, I usually end up doing more chains per game comparing to try to do a long chain. The difference here is when you do a long chain, you have to wait for the animation to play through before more Tsums drop down. But if you do a smaller chain, it pops a smaller region of the screen. And while it's doing that, you can start planning where you're going to make the next long chain. So I recommend trying to do smaller chains, and also the benefit of doing smaller chains is that you have a higher chance of getting a time bubble. And with the time bubble, it does add 5 seconds to each gameplay. So if you have 5 additional seconds, that means that you're going to have additional abilities activated per game, and you'll have more ability time. So when you clear a chain of 3, sometimes if you clear on the bottom, you're only going to get like 12 or 11. Therefore, you might get a chance to get that time bubble. And also another thing you want to do when you're using Donkey Pinocchio is try to spam his ability when it's almost full. When you do that, you'll be able to activate more games because you'll essentially initiate the overcharge effect. And then after every ability, you want to try to clear the screen off and by clearing all the bubbles because they do somewhat get in the way. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of all 3 of the abilities activated at the same time. The main thing we're going to be looking for here is the duration of the ability, so keep an eye out near where the score counter is. You'll see that there are little bubbles everywhere, and that tells you that your ability is in session. So I'll play this back one more time, and for skill level 4, you're going to have a total of 5.8 seconds. For skill level 5, you're going to have 6.4, and then finally for skill level 6, you're going to have 7 seconds. So every single time you level up Donkey Pinocchio, you're going to get 0.6 seconds additional from what you currently have. So if you take a look at skill level 4, you'll notice that I'm going to try to make back-to-back chains as much as possible. And if you get lucky, you'll get a time bubble like I just did there on the left-hand side. And if you look at skill level 6, I got a total of 2 time bubbles already. So that's one thing that you want to do when you're using Donkey Pinocchio is that you want to try to make chains where you get time bubbles as well, but do it as quickly as possible. And if you could time it properly, that last chain that you're going to make, try to make it as long as possible so you'll make a bigger chain, earning you a lot more coins. And that's really the strategy with Donkey Pinocchio. You want to try to make time bubbles, and you also want to make a decent amount of chains, but you don't want to lose time for the animation to play through. So overall, I think Donkey Pinocchio was a good surprise. I didn't anticipate him to be this good overall. I thought he was just going to be a mediocre Tsum, but he turned out to be okay. He's not a top Tsum by any means, but he's definitely a lot better than I anticipated. And let me show you what my results were for these 3 game demonstration. At skill level 4, I got a total of 3,152 coins. For skill level 5, I got 3,498. And for skill level 6, I got 3,736. So from a coin earning perspective, it's nothing too amazing. I think at skill level 6, earning only 3,700, it's not that great. But for skill level 4, I think it's okay. It's not too bad. You're still getting into 3,000 at skill level 4. So the investment there is not too bad. When it comes to score, it's also not too bad for these 3 game demonstrations. We got 7.6 million for skill level 4, 8.6 million for skill level 5, and then finally for skill level 6, I got 12 million. I am going to do a follow-up video where I compare all of the scores maxed out at level 50 and then see which one is the best one to use for the score challenge. So that way you guys can get ahead on trying to level up the Tsum that you want to use when the score challenge is here. The score challenge will start towards the end of the month, so it's best to prepare ahead of time versus when the score challenge is already here and you're trying to level up your Tsum at that point. It might be too late by then. Comparing all 6 of the skill level, you'll see that it does gradually increase over its duration here. During these game demonstrations, I don't have Donkey Pinocchio maxed out at level 50 yet, so just stay tuned. I will show you what I earned max when I have Donkey Pinocchio at level 50. So that's my review for Donkey Pinocchio at skill level 4, 5, and 6. I hope that you guys found this video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.